That was the Pacers game. Not exactly what I expected. Pretty bittersweet game. Bitter because injuries happened to players, and sweet because you got great performances and a victory, which felt more meaningful than the last game. But again, with this team, they're very up and down, and certain decision makers love to make sure that they're more down than up. Now, of course, gotta think about the opposition here. With the Pacers, you have two guys that I'm mainly worried about. Malcolm Brogdon is one guy. This man was hitting so many threes. The entire Pacers team was hitting a lot of threes, but he started off just scorching the Nets. And then he was also just kind of getting inside, playmaking. And that president nickname that he got while he was on the Bucks pretty much fits him so perfectly. He has so much poise, and he's just really unflappable. It's crazy. And of course, on the defensive end, he's really good as well. But if his assignment was Russ, he would have needed two Malcolm Brogdons. Domantas Sabonis, another guy, just son of Arvydas Sabonis. Really great legendary big who probably would have been better had he been able to get to America sooner in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis, just like his dad, great playmaker from the post, great scorer inside, and did that tonight. Just kept friggin' every time he get inside, you'd think it'd be a charge. Nope, Sabonis and one. Or he'd hit a three, or he'd find a guy. Especially there was one moment in the clutch where he threw it back. Like, you think he's going for the layup, and he finds a cutting, I think, Justin Holiday, who apparently is a good three-point shooter now. Oh, my God. And catches him right there. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not fair. Nikola Jokic is already not fair. Now what you're doing? Stop. Both of y'all need to stop. He's been doing it. But, yeah, just big ups to the opposition, who is scary, as well as Miles Turner defensively, a beast. But Wizards. There's a lot of storylines that happened for the Wizards this game. One of them being Brad was going to be out, and the man who got set up because of him. Brad, I wish you were healthy. The guy who had to be your replacement, unfortunately, just ran into so much pain and anguish. We'll talk about him in a second. I just want to talk about the good things. The good things. Russ is insane. When I come on here and talk about Russ, I have moments where I'm frustrated with certain things he does, but overall, just when he's going downhill and he's scoring on layups, or he's finding guys, he's throwing these really fast passes, and in the beginning of the season, those fastballs would kind of just go flying, and it's so funny when you look at when he attacks and throws a pass. There are guys, he manages to fake out his own teammates, which is just hilarious. And to be able to see him at full health playing for the Wizards, it's been a joy. At times, there's certain moments where you're frustrated, but you can have that with any player. And I think that Russ does get some undue hate. But Jesus Christ, this man was insane. He hit some clutch threes. He was finding Chandler Hutchison. He was finding Rui Hachimura, found Denny for a clutch three. And the amount of assists that I saw before because I'll probably put the stat line up, but the amount of assists, 20, insane. Oh, and my favorite Russ moment from this game, he pulled a TJ McConnell, who also is super great on the Pacers and just gets inbound steals every 2 seconds. He got himself a little inbound steal just to sink in the pain of having to deal with a Russell Westbrook on fire. I think the Wizards had just scored, and then Russ managed to get a foul off that. So that was my favorite moment from that entire game from Russ, other than the clutch threes and the victory. Yeah, the dude is insane, and obviously, yes, he got a triple-double. Rui Hachimura is another guy whose development has been keenly looked upon. There's a couple other young players on here on the Wizards who, you kind of look at them and you're like, maybe they could do something. But Rui Hachimura has really started to come into his own. If it's him in the post, you might as well chalk it up 2 points. He gets that little elbow fadeaway, and he used to miss it, but now it's it's money. He's finding that mid-range. He's so comfortable in that mid-range, but he's also become more aware of the guys running around him and, oh, this guy's coming to me, so let me pass it out here. Instead of just kind of feebly dribbling forward, he's making aggressive moves towards the hoop and banging down low with guys and making it difficult on the other end for guys using that length and blocking out space. It's great. It's great. And it's crazy to see him become what basically would be the third banana in a Russ, Beal, Hachimura third star type of role. So I'm impressed and I'm happy. It's fun seeing Rui get dunks and shots and jams and help carry the team to a victory tonight, which he did. He had his clutch moments alongside Russ where he was just helping getting stops. But there's some things that are a part of this victory that make it bittersweet. First of all, rest up Daniel Gafford. Hope you get better soon. That ankle sprain looked really bad because the Wizards just can't have nice things. They're not allowed to have nice things. And that was one of the major not nice things that happened. He went up, came down, and then stayed down. And it was like, what? Because he was contributing. He was another contributor to the victories. And it was like, yes, we have a big man with the athleticism of JaVale McGee, but not playing like rookie JaVale McGee. He's getting blocks and he's helping just take up space. And I was actually like, why is he not playing more? I feel like he could just, at this point, you just let him start. But he just got injured, so just want him to get better. That was a really sucky moment. But hey, the other guy that we happened to trade for, Chandler Hutchinson, he didn't play the first game, but this game he played. And he had a couple miscues that led to some just unfortunate moments. There was like one moment he got an offensive rebound, and then he tried to go for he clearly wanted to get the foul, and he kind of just threw it up, and it just went up in the air. It's like, okay, dude, what are you doing? And then there was Aaron Holiday sort of just cut in and get a score, and I was like, okay, I don't know about this guy. Then he hits a smooth little layup. Then he hits a three. Then he's cutting. He was cutting so much. I don't think I've seen a Wizards player cut that much. And Russ was finding him. I think Neto found him too as well. And he was scoring, and he started to actually help on defense a bit too. He was contributing, and hopefully we'll get to see more of him, and minus the miscues. Another guy, Denny Avdia. It really feels like this guy is not being able to play to his full potential because of the fact that he's behind these guys, behind a lot of ball dominant guys. But on top of that, I'm just thinking about that really asinine Scott Brooks quote about Troy Brown Jr. Miss him already, because there were so many excuses that were made, like, oh yeah, you know, I just couldn't find the space for him to play. You got another guy that can play make, and all we keep seeing him do is have to take threes every time he gets the rebound, which he's been really good at sealing off defensive stops with his rebounding, which has been a nice development. But he also has struggled with his shot a bit. But every time he gets that rebound, you can just see him ready to go, and he just kind of like sadly gives off the ball to Neto, and he's just like, God damn it, I was gonna do something. And I feel like if you let him run the offense for a couple, some possessions, like it doesn't have to be every single possession, but let him run the offense just a bit. I probably sound like a Denny stan, but I want to see what he can do with the ball in his hands. And I feel like we're losing that, and it sucks because we've seen this so many times. It's almost like there's a consistent issue, almost like a persistent persons/group of people who exist within the organization who have the power to, never mind. Neto also had some nice moments this game. Hit a buzzer beating three, had some layups. For the game, it was a bit of a turnover fest in the second quarter, and then the Pacers sort of controlled themselves, but they kept managing to find moments where the Wizards were just like, let's take this risky pass for no reason. And I was like, stop doing that. You're giving them the ball. Don't do that. Alex Len and Robin Lopez kind of existed. I feel like they did some things, but they just both kind of existed. And now we're going to have to see more of them, which is funny because Alex Len at first was a revelation when he first got here. And now he's just kind of been sort of up and down. Apparently last game he was pretty good. The man who got set up, Jerome Robinson. I'm sorry, bruh. So Brooks, after apparently Robinson struggled heavily in the Pistons game, Brooks decided to start him instead of Garrison, the other guy who contributed pretty well at shooting guard position, Matthews, and Garrison Matthews, to his credit, did well today in spurts. But For some reason, despite Jerome Robinson having a pretty awful game against the Pistons, Scott Brooks was determined to give Jerome his opportunity that he hadn't really earned. It's almost like Scott Brooks runs a whiplash rotation and there is no logic. So yeah, Jerome Robinson, he got caught up. Now you can say, well, Brooks didn't do those fouls and Brooks didn't miss those shots, which is true. He didn't, but Robinson's contributions were nullified by the fact that his negative moments just completely overshadow anything. This is only magnified by the fact that Beal wasn't playing, and so to try to replace the scoring punch with a guy that doesn't see time that often, because he does tend to have these moments where he tries to ISO or do too much, just turns it over or makes, silly mistakes. You're setting him up. He had 5 fouls. He missed more shots than he made, and it's not like, oh, well, he was like 3 for 6. I think he was like 1 for 4 at one point, and I think he finished like 2 for 7. I'm probably close. And he almost, like, there was one point where the Pacers were about to go on a run, and he fouled Justin Holiday on a 3-pointer, and it's just like, oh my God, you're gonna keep him in, Brooks? You're gonna keep him in? You're really gonna do this? And it seemed at first like Brooks realized the mistake and was gonna keep Garrison in, but didn't put Jerome back in like 6 minutes in the fourth. And it's like, what are you doing? So I feel more bad for Jerome Robinson because he got set up. He should not be put in that situation. If he's just not that good or good enough to be a starter, don't make him start and don't give him starters minutes when he's struggling. It's not like he's shown anything to justify that start. And that's not to say that he had only negative moments. He had a couple steals and a nice block at one point. Again, his negative moments were so bad and potentially detrimental to the potential for this victory that it's like, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that. You had Garrison Matthews sitting right there. Could have put Isak Bonga in. At least Isak is guaranteed to be defensive or foul. But again, that's the Wizards head coach right there. He's willing to start a guy who probably shouldn't start, let alone he's basically a 13th man right now. Yeah, I just started my 13th man. I thought he could give us some scoring punch. Right. So yeah, almost lost this game, but we didn't. But the Wizards did not, and it was good. It was nice to end it out on a clutch note. So good victory. This is technically a win streak, but like, we're putting the heaviest quotes on win streak. I am not going to get emotionally invested unless they go on like an insane tear, like they go 17-6 in their next however many games. Hopefully Beal comes back healthy. I even forgot that Davis Bertans is also out. Like, I completely forgot about him. Like, oh yeah. I saw him like celebrating with the guys at one point. I was like, oh yeah, you're injured too. I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot about you, dude. So hopefully he comes back healthy. Anyway, the next game is against the Hornets. And the last time the Wizards played the Hornets, I missed that game. I think I'm going to be actually able to catch this game. But the last time, Cody Zeller completely mauled the team and they just got run over in a blowout. And everyone was like, hey, this is one of those games where it's an indictment on the coaching staff, and maybe we should do something about that, as well as the general manager who willingly put this roster together. What's that? We're not going to until the end of the season because money? Dang. That's wild. We'll see what happens against the Hornets. If they get stung, just hope it's not one of those. Is it the Japanese red jacket, yellow jacket? It's the yellow jackets. There's murder hornets. Those exist. That's very terrifying. So hopefully this game, even though now we won't have Gafford, Hutchinson showed some promise. So hopefully the good things that happen in this game will continue into the next game. But as I always say, this is the Wizards. Don't get your hopes up. Well, this guy says, turns out the Wizards know how to survive the pacer test. Congratulations on doing some basic exercise until you pass out or you're trying to impress whoever. Now, they're going to have to go punch a hornet's nest that may be missing one of its star rookies, but they're going to go punch a hornet's nest. Isn't that exciting? That's exciting. No, you're excited. You're definitely not terrified. No, hornets aren't scary at all. They're not scary at all. It'll be fine. Just whatever the wizard spell is for delete, just use that on the hornets. Like, what is it? Expellimarius? Fucking control alt delete. Boom. Boom. WizWatch!